All right, guys. So we're going to go ahead and talk about cybersecurity today. But before we get into that, let's just go ahead and do a quick recap. So on the previous video, we already confirmed that data is pretty much the center point of any and everything in the tech industry. And different sectors of tech pretty much have their own reasons for using data in different ways, whether you're on the sales side, whether you're on operations like I am, or in this case, we're going to talk about cybersecurity. So cybersecurity is very popular. It's blowing up on social media. Everyone wants to get in it. Everyone wants to get a security plus or whatever security-based certifications in hopes that that will get them entrance into the cybersecurity specialty of tech. So what exactly does cybersecurity pertain to, right? What is it about? So cybersecurity at the basic, just at a high level, is basically focused on protecting the data that we move between different devices. It's also about protecting those devices, our smartwatches, our phones, tablets, and different things that we use to send data, receive data, as well as store data and hold it for an extended amount of time, for a long time, right? And like everything else, this particular field has a few different specialties. This can be network security, cloud security, mobile application or just application security. You have a few different things, but those are just to name a few. Information security apparently is a specialty in cybersecurity itself. I thought InfoSec was synonymous with cyber security or just cyber for short, but apparently information security is a specialty under cybersecurity. Didn't know that. So that's another one too. Now, like pretty much anything else in tech, cybersecurity has a few tenets or pillars that serve as the cornerstone for that line of work. It being the CIA triad, which I believe we've already covered. But let's just go ahead and do a quick recap. So you have the CIA triad: C for confidentiality, I for integrity, and A for availability. Confidentiality, we pretty much already know this, is that the information that you're talking about or that you're giving to somebody is pretty much on a need to know basis. If you don't need to know it, or if I deem that you don't need to know it, it's not for you to see. You're not going to see it. You're not going to hear about it, right? Secrets with your best friends type of thing. Then you have data integrity. I kind of translate this to data accuracy. Now, data accuracy, I believe, is a concept in itself, but I do that because data integrity focuses on the data that you are storing, most likely in the database, which you already talked about. Most likely the data that you're storing has to be accurate so that you can make smart business decisions down the line. Now, that's why I call it data accuracy, because let's say if you're running a website that sells clothes and you have a database on the back end, every time someone makes a purchase, you get a new record in your database, in your sales database. And after maybe every month or every quarter, every 3 months, you make a choice, or you make a go through the database and do an analysis on the sales data. You find out what products are selling the best, which products are selling the least, which colors and sizes of certain products seem to be getting the most attention. Same thing on the other side of which ones are getting the least attention. And you use that to get a good idea of what stuff should you probably invest more into and what other products should we probably just do away with, right? That's usually what leads to different pieces of products, clothes, and technology to be discontinued because people aren't paying enough attention to them. They're not earning enough money. So it would be a waste of our money to keep them. That's usually where that comes from. So let's say that someone on or hacks into your database, changes a bunch of the info. They change how many units of pants were sold or how many units of shirts were sold, the colors, the dollar amount that you charged and earned from making those sales and things like that. Let's say someone gets to your database and just wrecks up shop, right? Now, when you look through the database and you're doing your analysis and you decide, let's go ahead and invest more money into these products because people are paying more attention to these versus do away with these products because people aren't paying them any mind. Well, if someone messed your database up and they messed up your information or data, well, you probably just made a bad business decision, right? They probably flipped everything on its head so that the things that weren't getting too much attention, they made it look like they were getting more attention than they actually were. Versus the things that were getting a good amount of attention, they probably just made things look a little bit worse. And now you decided the things that weren't getting that much attention, we're going to invest more money into. The things that were getting a good amount of attention, we're not going to invest in them at all, right? And we're going to do away with them. Seems like a pretty backwards thing. So that's why I personally translate this to data accuracy, because your data has to be right, it has to be on point. If it's not on point, you end up making bad decisions that you will pay for down the line. And lastly, real quick, is availability. Availability basically means that whatever service that you're trying to use is up and running and you can use it whenever you want to, right? So whether it's a physical brick and mortar store, clothing, candles, Bath and Body Works, Foot Locker, things like that, whatever physical store, when it closes, is no longer available. When they close that gate, if you're in a mall or in a shopping center, once they put the gates down, they lock it, it's no longer available. Apply that same concept, but to technology, to applications and social media, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, things like that, right? And you try to log in, sign in, try to open the app, and it's not working. Then on top of that, you find out from your friends that a bunch of people are going off on the internet on different platforms saying, hey, this platform that I use to post videos and make a living is not working. This other platform that I use to promote my website and other products is not working. I may even make sales through this platform and it's not working, right? And everyone's going off. It's not just you, it's everybody. That's most likely an availability issue. It's one thing for you to have an issue getting into a website or some type of app just because something could be wrong with your phone or your network. But when everyone, people in your city, in the country, in other parts of the world are saying that we can't access this information that we may or may not make money from or we just use for entertainment, that's an availability issue. It's not available to anyone, which can lead to a lot of money being lost and people losing trust in the company and that product over time. Now, with that said, why is cybersecurity in particular getting so much attention right now? Between project management, cybersecurity, Scrum, I would say those are the top 3 domains of tech that are getting the most attention, and cyber is probably number 1. I would say it's number 1. So why is it getting so much attention right now? There are a few main reasons for this. One, pretty much off the top, it's lucrative. Point blank, don't really have to say much more about that. You can make a lot of money in tech, especially if you go on to the government side. If you do a cybersecurity job that's out the country, I've been told and I've read online that when you are a government contractor or a government employee and they send you on a job internationally, everything's pretty much already paid for. Your need to spend your own money is very limited. So you're making high 5 figs to 6 figs at least that you barely have to touch because food, housing, and all the other stuff is pretty much already covered. So that leads to it being very lucrative, as well as if you get opportunities outside of your respective country, in this case in the United States, where everything is covered by the government or whoever sent you out there, then you're just stacking money at that point. You're just saving, right? So that's another angle to the lucrative side. Second reason cyber is getting so much attention. I think a lot of people are finding out how cool it is, essentially. Depending on who you talk to, cybersecurity is the line of work where you get paid for being nosy. That's pretty much it. Like you're kind of a detective, depending on the side you're on. You have a few different sides. You have red teaming, which you're actually someone that's hacking into systems, but you're doing it legally, so you won't get in trouble. Your blue team, which means you're on the defensive side, which means you're trying to protect your devices, your networks, and everything from the hackers that are most likely trying to do it illegally. Or even, well, yeah, it's still illegal, but they may not just be random criminals. They may actually be, spies for another organization. Believe it or not, different corporations do this to each other. They try to get someone on their side to hack into the networks and devices on a rival company side just to get key information that will allow them to come out on top in the market. It happens. You'll be surprised what these corporations are willing to do. Those are the 2 main teams. You also have purple teams, which is the hybrid of the 2. You have, I believe, the white team, which is basically like referees, but that's kind of a niche situation. I don't think that's a regular everyday thing. So the main thing people tend to look at are red team and blue team. And it's pretty cool. If you go on certain websites, I can't remember any off the top of my head. Oh, Cybrary is one. Cybrary, which this is not sponsored, but Cybrary is one. I believe Replit might have something on there. I know they have courses for programming. That's where I got my Python experience from there and learned the basics of it. In addition to Jupyter Notebook, W3 Schools might have some cybersecurity information on there. A few different places, but yeah, it's pretty cool because you get to learn some of the different technologies like Linux, Snort, SSH, how to use that, and just some of the different tools that if you were to crack open, let's say, a book to study for the Security Plus 601, which as of right now, I believe is the most updated version of the Security Plus. Actually, no, I think the 701 has been announced already. So it's still in effect, but it's going to be obsolete later on this year for sure, if that's the case. But yeah, if you were to crack open a Security Plus book, 601 or 701, either or, these are some of the protocols and technologies that you'll have to learn so that when you get those certifications, you take the test for those certifications, you'll know what they're talking about and you'll know how these things work. Otherwise, you'll have a pretty hard time, especially if you don't have any understanding or concept of networking to begin with. Then, yeah, you're going to have a pretty hard time. And last one, last reason cybersecurity is blowing up, forecasted demand of that line of work, right? Over the next 10 years, it's expected that cybersecurity's popularity or demand will grow over 30%, which to most people, because it's so in demand, that also should mean job security will be less of a problem compared to now, right? With all the mass layoffs and things going on. Now, whether or not that's true, I get to see evidence of it, but that's the general idea. Cybersecurity, especially with it being arguably the latest and youngest niche or specialty under the tech umbrella or IT umbrella. And then on top of that, all these different corporations, they're getting hacked. There are a lot of data that's just being released into the general public because their systems are being broken into. A lot of data is being held for ransom. A lot of situations are going on. So a lot of companies are putting more priority into attracting and getting and maintaining cybersecurity talent on all sides so that they won't have to spend as much money due to legal fees and different things as a result of their companies, or rather their systems, being hacked and broken into. But I'm gonna go ahead and leave it there, guys. Hopefully this video was helpful. Now you know what cybersecurity is at its core, just at a high level, then go super in depth, as well as focused on the three main tenets of cybersecurity, what they are, and why they're pretty important to the modern day and where we're looking for the future. We still have some time to go, so let's see where it goes when it comes to the forecasted popularity of cybersecurity, because a lot of people are trying to go into it right now, but let's see if the job market goes with that trend as well. We will see in time. But yeah, guys, hopefully this video was helpful. If you got any feedback for me, leave that for me in the comment section below. I appreciate you for being here with me again. I'll see you later.